reaction because I know he's going to laugh any second. Because I do this hypnotic anchoring thing to him all the time. I don't have to do it anymore. I just have to be like... There's so many anchors I sit on him. So, anyways, but we're not going to play that. So, all right. So, tonight we had an experience tonight, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, first of all, let's start here. What's going on with you, Abhinav?
So, I'm flying out to India tomorrow morning, and I'm doing this yoga certification training. Basically, you're going to train me to be like a yoga teacher, and hopefully I'll be doing something with that in the future.
Yeah, Abhinav wants to start his own business, and that's kind of because I think it's good that he's from India. He does yoga. Did you ever do yoga in India when you were a kid?
I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah, so he did it there too. And I said, you might as well get certified and actually start a business doing it. I mean, you're like the legit deal all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so let's, so today we're going to talk about communication and give me that pen I'll write as a note. Talk about how, I was talking to Ben. We had a really good conversation last night or 2 nights ago, which I wish I would have recorded. And I don't know why I don't think about it, but it was like so cool. A lot of guys think, because I used to think that, and I asked Ben, I go, before you took my course, did you think that dating relationship courses were boring?
Yeah.
As hell, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was like detention, like you said.
The what?
Like detention?
Yeah, like detention. Like, oh, God, I got to go to that. Oh. I remember as a kid watching, like, my friends' dads, and we're going to a relationship seminar, and you could just see, like, the terror in their face, like, oh, God. So, guys, good news. There is a new understanding of what's going on, and it is not boring at all, and it puts a form of power in your hands where you start to have fun in relationships. It's not about, I can tell you what it's not about, because that's not the original purpose. We'll get to that later. It's not about rules, guys. And that's what all those other seminars were about. Well, be a good boy, follow the rules. And ladies, men hated those courses. Because number one, they didn't understand them. But if you followed any of my videos, we talk about how there's the male brain that processes this way and the female brain that processes the opposite way. So women, you're experiencing this and he is not experiencing this fun thing over here at all. But guys, that's what I do with this course. So I wanted to ask you a question. And maybe we could save it for later. What was it about my course that you realize, like, oh, this is a blast?
It was the internal awareness stuff.
Okay, I don't want to do a complete answer, but give a partial answer. So the internal awareness and what now?
It was the internal awareness stuff. I remember the session we had here at this table, where
that blow your mind?
Yeah, when I went into that zone and I thought, dude, this is the bee's knees.
Yeah, this is it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like the moment you go into that zone, you're like, this is what I've been looking for.
Yep. And I've had quite a few clients have the experience like, what the fuck is this? In fact, I can't think of your name. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's because you give me, well, I'm not going to explain that right now. But the guy out in Japan, he had that experience over Skype. He's like, dude, what is this? It's awesome, huh? So it gets rid of all your worries. Would you say that's probably the main thing?
I would say so, yeah. It's,
you still got that sparkly thing on your face.
Yeah. What is it, dude?
Right there. All right. Sorry, you had like a sparkly thing. I don't know what the hell's that doing on his face, but you know. So anyways, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I've actually had like maybe 4 or 5 of those with you, right? Maybe those internal awareness experience.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you've had them on your own, notes, but...
Oh, yeah. I've had them on my own, but I think the biggest ones I've had them with you, and they just blow your mind, man.
It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't the purpose. We're going to do that later on in the video, and we'll probably cut these into 3 pieces. So... we'll get back to that is what I'm saying. We'll get back to, like, why is my course different than all those other courses? It's not boring. Like, what does it do for me? Like, why do men have so much fun in this course versus, oh, God, I got to go to the relationship course with my wife. Got to go to couples coaching. So there's a huge misunderstanding there. And I think a lot of the other courses, I don't even think it's a misunderstanding. I think it's just, it is what it is, you know? What do you think?
I've never really been to any of those relationship therapy stuff, so I wouldn't know. But this one, you do have to do, I guess, you do have to practice some things. You have to practice the techniques, and also just like almost ways of thinking, like because it's a kind of foreign when you first learn them.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the more you practice, the more you'll get a hang of them, and I guess to be more fun later on.
Yeah, it's kind of a mind fuck. Excuse me, I want to say the F word. It's kind of a mind fuck, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck is this?
The hardest thing for me was, like, you think you really understand something, because, like, when he's going over stuff and he's explaining it to you, you're 100% sure that you're understanding it. But maybe down the road he'll understand it in a different level, or something will happen that'll make you go, "Oh, I didn't really understand that."
And I'll be telling you, no, you don't understand, and you really believe it. No, Mike, I'm
You
telling you.
really do.
What you're doing is you're understanding it from a logical perspective, and that is not what my course is about. Because women are coming from the other process or the other computer, and when you understand and perceive and experience things from that side of your brain, you're like, all of a sudden, women make sense, don't they?
Hmm.
See, guys, I'm going to give you something right now. The biggest confusion between men and women is women aren't logical. And you know what? You're right. Well, I don't want to say that because women are left and right brain. So they can be logical, but so here's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail on that. You are right in a sense. What you're really saying is, I don't have the ability to operate and come from the right brain. And what you're saying is, I don't understand her when she's over there. Because, guys, there's times when you guys are on the same page, and there's times when you're not at all. And that's left and right hemisphere. So what I'm trying to say, what he's saying is when you're over there, all of a sudden, like, women make total sense. Because they are literally not only speaking a different language when they're in their right brain, they're also processing language in the opposite direction, literally, neurologically, physically, than you are when you're in your left brain. So you're right. You don't understand them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think when some of the guys hear that, they might think like maybe he's speaking in anecdotes or symbolism, but no, that's actually a literal thing.
Yeah.
I spoke to this about my coworker just maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and she literally said, "Yeah, it's a different language." Mm-hmm. So he doesn't mean it in like it's a symbol thing or maybe it's a metaphor or something. It's a pretty literal thing.
It's kind of funny because the language is spoken in symbology, metaphorically, but when a guy's hearing it, it's so vague and abstract. Like, okay, when you first met me, you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, it's like I said, I thought I understood because I tried really hard to, but
until you take the course, it's the same thing that guys go through with their wives and their girlfriends are just like, she's speaking goobly gosh gibberish. She's not speaking anything, but she is what I'm saying. She actually is. So go ahead.
I think, if you want to go to the bigger picture, the thing that gets guys in the door with him is basically they've been doing basically the ABC, like everything that they think they're supposed to do, and they're not getting the girls. That's
step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah,
which is male thinking. But go ahead.
And they keep doing it, and that was sort of my things too. And it's like, well, why am I not getting the girl? And so that kind of brings a whole lot of frustration. Like, I don't know what's going on. So when you kind of learn his course, it's a bit like, I guess, off center. It's hard to understand at first, but it does take time. It takes a little bit of trust.
Right. We're going to talk about this piece right here that you mentioned about 3 sentences ago.
The internal words?
No, trying. Well, I don't want to bring it up now because it's part of the piece, but I want to bring up this one piece first. So you were here. He's going to India, by the way. Did we announce that in the beginning of this video?
Yeah.
I know we announced it in the coffee shop one, but which is you've already seen. I'm going to attach to this video. So you were here about 3 nights ago, and hey man, I'm going to be going to India because Abhinav and I, like, you went to Fresno for a while,
mm-hmm.
and there was about a period of a year that we didn't see each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's going to India for about 2 months. Actually, I think it is 2 months, right?
2 months.
All right, so which I'm freaking think it's awesome. Kind of wish I could go if I get enough money. Maybe I'll fly out there for the hell of it. So my point being is, he came over, started talking, and what got us onto this whole communication thing when I was talking about the picture here? Do you remember what triggered that thought?
I actually don't know, but I know we were talking about something about your website, and then it just kind of flew over into something else.
Yeah, no,
so I don't really know exactly what it was.
Well, I tell you what, it opened up was the Pandora's box, and you understood something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, really understood it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it also gave me another way to teach it to the male brain, and that really is the genius of my course is how do you teach this stuff to men? How do you get men to understand what the F is going on in a way that not only do you see it clearly, it becomes simple, it becomes easy, and now you got some tools to use that give you more power in dating, relationships, and sex. So which includes everything from meeting a girl, picking up on a girl, if we could use that phrase, all the way through to having a fun, happy... here's a phrase I hate saying is, take my course to save your marriage. What a horrible thought. It's like save your marriage. If you're saving your marriage, that's horrible. What you really want to do is you want that marriage to be so fun, so happy, so passionate, so like you're with your best buddy again. Like I don't know about you, but I had some really good friends when I was in middle school and high school, and we get our BMX bikes, go right up the hill, Silverado Trail in Napa, and go racing down. We'd crash and burn, and just fucking just did. We went on adventures. Like, did you ever have like your best friends that were like that?
We had some drinking adventures, if that counts. Yeah, we had some of that too.
All right.
I think you guys were a lot more like
Crazy.
like gung ho crazy type. We were a little bit more chill.
All right, I got a funny story for you before I get into the communication thing. It's a great story. My two best friends in high school, or this was middle school. All right, do you know what I'm talking about? Or
No, I don't think so.
were you gonna say something?
Well, no, I just remember that you have some pretty crazy stories from like
Yeah.
your childhood.
It was funny. I educated, smart, got straight A's in school. You don't think I'm smart?
No, go ahead.
Fuck you, man. So, but we were rough and tumble kids. We were boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, football. I mean, we did some pretty crazy shit. So here's one of them. I just moved back to California, to Napa. I'm from Napa originally. And Marlon and Jimmy, we just happened to live in the same neighborhood. Like I lived like, I don't know, 4 houses away from Marlon. And so him and Jimmy were like best friends and would ride BMX. Now we all raced BMX bikes, a lot and competed like intensely. And so we go for a lot of bike rides. Well, okay, let's kind of scratch that. So here I am. I moved back my first summer there. I meet them. So I've known them for about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. And we go to middle school. Now, Marlon and Jimmy both had motorcycles, right? Now, his mom's going to kill me for telling the story, but so what? She'll probably laugh. And so what happened was, it was like the second or third week, maybe fourth week of first semester. Basically it was summer, early fall, like it was hot. And every now and then, like once a week, Marlon and Jimmy would get kicked out of school, or they would just take off.
Oh, yeah, I do remember this story.
And I never knew why. Well, Marlon got a brand new motorcycle, right? So he wanted to ride it. And so one day they came up and like, dude, let's go ride motorcycles. And I was a strict student. Like, dude, I can't leave school. No, we're not going to leave school. They're going to kick us out. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you, like, it made no sense to me. Now, Marlon had an extra motorcycle too, which was the one I was going to ride because I didn't have a motorcycle at the time. And Jimmy had a motorcycle. And so they go, all right, Mike, you're going to beat up that guy. I was like, why? Well, so we can get kicked out of school. And my brain goes, why would I want to get kicked out of school? Like, it made no sense to me. And then Marta goes, Jimmy, you're gonna punch that guy right in front of the dean of the school. And I was like, dude, you're gonna get in so much trouble, right? And so then Marta goes, I'm gonna go punch Eddie. Now Eddie ended up being one of our best friends, and I was really sad, but funny story. So Jimmy walks up and bam, right in front of the dean, and the dean's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then Martin, bam, he busts, Eddie in lips, and they start going at it, man. Eddie was a tough dude. And I didn't do anything, because I was like, what are you guys doing, man? And so they ended up getting suspended, and then after school, like, dude, we had a blast. And I'm like, because to me, I'd be terrified of getting suspended. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
So I'm like, what are you guys talking about? It took me a couple days to figure out, and they're like, Mike, you should have went with us. I'm like, what do you mean went with us? You guys got sent home. They're like, dude, we went home and got our new motorcycles, and we rode out in the vineyards. I was like, wait, that's why you started those fights? They're like, yeah. Like, you idiot. I'm like, oh, God. So that was the kind of childhood I had, I guess. So Napa was pretty wild, actually. A lot of people don't know that about Napa. Napa can be a rough and tumble town, to say the least. All right, so let's get back to the communication stuff. All right, so we were talking about this picture, and what was the piece that you didn't understand at first? He does now.
It was how descriptive women need to be to understand something. I kind of thought that if they see it like us.
You mean physically see it?
Yeah, they can understand it, but if they're not there, it's like they need 700 descriptions to get the whole picture.
Words.
Yeah. So that's something that I had no concept of at all. Because, like, with a guy, you would never ever do that.
All right, here's what I mean. So I'm going to give you guys real rock solid examples, and I'll break it down to where you absolutely clearly understand it. So here's a very typical thing, and I have explained some videos in the past, but I'm gonna add the piece that we did with this picture here to really, because that's when Ben was, oh, that's what you mean. I'm like, yeah. So I was like, you didn't understand that all the time? I was like, no, you. So here's what it is. A lot of men will come home from work or whatever, and the wife or girlfriend's like, well, how was your day, honey? And he's going, oh, God, not that question, no. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he's never been married and has never been in like a long-term relationship like I have, 8 years and 4.5 years, and I admit, in my mid-20s, I flipped out on my girlfriend. I was like, it doesn't mean nothing. And I fucking screamed at her, God fucking damn it. I even slammed my hand down on the table. Luckily, it was a big, hard wooden table. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute. I teach this in the course, and here I am doing it. You know? And I go, oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. So here's what it is. And I like to use the story of my football coach in high school because I lived with him and his kids, his two sons, for about 1.5 years or something like that. And me and Barry were sitting on the couch, and, and Barry goes, uh-oh, here it goes. Because this was like the third day. And it's in my book, Cracked Female Code, which, give me that right there. Which, this is the manual. Hold on, shoot. This is the manual for when you take the course, okay? It's a 5-day course, 2 sessions a day, 3 hours per session, so it's very in-depth. And it will actually, you'll probably have to do a couple follow-ups after that, and then you got to practice it for a while. So get the book Cracked Female Code if you really want to understand what the hell is going on. It is a mind blower. I've got people flying in from London, Ireland. A guy from London flew in twice, actually. That's how impressed he was. Because he goes, well, I'm like, well, why'd you come back? He's like, something about being around you. I can pick up on chicks now. And then it kind of went away after a month. I'm like, well, you're not doing the internal stuff. And he admitted, he goes, yeah, I don't like to do that. I'm like, well, that's what's getting you the girls. So back to the story. So the football coach. So he comes home one day, and he opens the door. And you can tell he had a pretty good day. He was in a good mood. But that's the thing. We can see it. We're visual. A picture says 1,000 words. Is that how it goes, or something like that?
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, so I never knew what that meant until I started developing this course, and I was like, oh shit, women can't do that. So what I mean is, I'm going to say this real briefly. The male visual cortex is bigger, and it's much more developed because we had to hunt. And we fought in wars traditionally up until very recently. Now, obviously, women do too, etc. But it'll take hundreds, if not 500 or 1,000 years, for the female visual cortex to develop as much as the males. And the thing is, we don't hunt like we used to. We have walkie-talkies, we got radios, we got text messages, we got cell phones. We call each other on. We don't need there's no need for it. Even hunting. It's not like it was before. You've got farms. You've got grocery stores. So my point is this. The visual cortex in males is more developed. But as I say, the female's right brain's communication processor is much more developed. So that's kind of her advantage. And this is our advantage. It's really two different processors, and it causes a huge misunderstanding if you don't understand it. And this is the biggest thing that makes men flip out, and women are like, why are you so mad? I just asked you, what does that mean? Oh no, don't ask him that. That flips him out. So here's what happened. So when he walked in the door the first day, me and Barry were looking at him. You know, he was in a good mood. You could tell, like, he was just had a pretty good mood, felt good walking in, getting ready for dinner time, you know. And she goes, hey honey, how are you today? He goes, oh, it's good, because you know where that leads to. And he's like, oh, it's good, like, let's get past this. And ladies, you're going to understand why this flips men out, okay? And men, you're going to understand why do women keep asking that question. So when a guy looks at another guy, we already understand how he feels because our visual cortex picks up a lot more information than hers. Her visual cortex is like, I have no idea how. You can literally tell her, I had a great day, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't work for women. Because they need more words because they're connected deeply to the right brain's communication processor. For women, it's all about communication, and her mating system is connected to the right brain's communication center. But most men talk from the logical and try to turn her on that way, and it turns her off because once you pull her over to the left brain, she disconnected from her mating system. Don't want to do that. Want to connect her. So all I'm saying is this. When he walked in the door, she's like, "How was your day, honey?" And he's like, "Oh, it was good. I had a really good day. It was good, you know." And me and Barry kind of looked, and fuck, I don't know. It's good that the head of the household's in a good mood because now we can all relax, right? Because this guy was a big dude, but it's just a dad thing. When the dad comes home, he's the boss, like, don't piss him off.
Yeah, I know something about that.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a dad. That's a boss thing, I guess. So even of your work too. When you say that's true.
Yeah.
All right, so. The next day, and because she kind of dug a little bit, well, how was it? He goes, it was good. You had a good day. And she's like, oh, okay. You could tell, like, she's got this look on her face, like, what is he trying to say to me? And I'll explain why, ladies. But you already know why. And I'll explain it, and you'll be like, oh, he does know. Okay, so let me go here, and then I'll finish the story. So in order for a woman to understand you, she has to have an emotional experience, physically feeling of what you're saying. Now, guys, it is so unconscious that when a guy walks in the room, boom, we get that feeling in our body. Like, oh, okay, he feels like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I think you do now.
Yeah.
So it's so unconscious, we don't even know we're doing it. So he walks in, oh, yeah, I had a great day. Me and Barry like, fucking awesome, right on, dude. That's all we needed. We had that impact. We had that feeling. But the challenge is women can't get that same feeling from a word or a phrase, and this is what drives women nuts. Why won't he tell me? And every guy in the room is like, he just did. He just said he had a great day. Like, what do you want? And that's what he said. So the second day comes home. She goes, hey, honey, how was your day? And he's like, well, it's pretty good. I had a good day. It wasn't great, but I had a good day, man. I feel good. And so she's kind of digging, well, like, what happened? What's going on? He's like, well, what do you mean? I had a good day. It was good. Nothing bad happened. It was a pretty good day, And she kind of gave up, really quick, fairly quick, I'd say. And the third day, though, you could tell she dug her heels in. And he's walking the door, and Barry goes, watch this, dude. Because Barry'd been through it before. He goes, dude, he's going to blow his lid. And so he walks in the door, and you got to remember, this guy's 300 pounds, 6'3", I think. Great guy, though. Beautiful man. Just funny guy, man. He's, in my opinion, the key to us winning a section championship in high school, because whenever it got really stressed, he would always walk around the field and they call timeout. All right, come on, guys, get some water. And he would always say some fucking joke out of nowhere, and we would start laughing. And I remember the first time he did it, I'm like, we're in the middle of we're in a playoff game. Like, why are we goofing around? Because it loosens you up, and man, we always kicked ass after that every time. So great guy. So he walks in the door. This is the third, maybe the fourth. I think it was the third day. And how was your day, honey? And he's like, oh, it's good. I had a good day, It's all right, She goes, well, how was it? And he goes, well, I just told you, it was a good day. Now, because this is kind of getting repetitive. Like, why does she keep asking me, how was my day? I tell you every day. And me and Barry are looking like we just stopped watching TV. We're because it was the hallway was to the right. So we're looking like, uh-oh. Because we could tell he's kind of getting fucking good, okay, He didn't say that word, but he goes, it was a good day, Like the second time he had to answer. She goes, well, yeah, but how was it? He goes, well, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. And he literally said something like that. It wasn't bad. Nothing good or bad happened. It was fine. I'm fine. And me and Barry go, oh shit. And you could tell she had no idea. He was like just about to blow his lid, dude. And so she goes, well, how was it? Like, what does that mean? And he goes, it was a good day. What do you want? She goes, well, what is it? And she goes, again, she repeated, but what does that mean? And he stomps on the floor, and this big dude spins in circles like a Tasmanian devil. It doesn't, he goes, everything doesn't have to have a goddamn fucking deeper spiritual meaning. And then he storms off. She goes, well, okay, then. That's all you have to say. He walks to the back and slams the door, We're like, me and Barry, we couldn't help it. When we started busting up laughing, dude. And then we thought, he's going to come out and start fucking yelling at us, but he didn't, which was kind of cool. So here's the dynamics of what's going on. The right brain, by default, is always looking for a deeper meaning. If you don't give it to her, her right brain's gonna go, what does that mean? What does that mean? I like to explain it's just like the Japanese car. I remember when I was a kid, like in the 80s or early 90s, my friend's dad used to rebuild cars. He goes, I won't touch Japanese cars. Why? He goes, well, the wiring is like the opposite of an American-made car. And he goes, it's fucking weird. And so it's the same thing with a female brain. The one thing you have to understand, it is hardwired to always ask, what does that mean? Or what's a deeper meaning of this? Or what's a deeper spiritual meaning of this? She can't help it. Now, her left brain, when you say had a great day, goes, click, had a great day. This brain is satisfied, but she's left and right. She has more nerves in the corpus callosum. And so if you don't tell her what that means is, she's going to spin and spin and spin, and she's going to come to the worst possible conclusion. And one thing I like to use is when a guy says, hey, I'm going to go to the corner store, the grocery store, Walgreens real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some milk or ice cream or whatever. And her left brain goes, ching, ching. Cool. I understand. Click. We're on the same page. But then the right brain slowly starts to kick in and goes, well, what does that mean? And this is after you walk, or as you're walking out the door. She said, well, what does that mean? I wonder. And since you didn't tell her what that means is, I promise you, this thing's going to spin. And here's the thing that guys don't understand. She can't help it. It's hardwired that way. So ladies, don't be so harsh on yourself about this because you're wired this way. And there's an easy fix to this, by the way. So the things that guys don't understand is you go ching ching done. There's no more thinking. But her brain goes, well, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Well, what could that mean? What does that mean? What's the deeper meaning of that? Well, what does that mean? And that thing will spin and spin, and emotionally it makes her go freaking nuts inside. Now you understand this now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it in women. They're like, what does that mean? And here's the thing, guys. All you have to say is what that means is, and then make something up. It doesn't matter. The way this brain, it's a pattern that her brain needs to be fed in order to be satisfied, and to where both brains go ching 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 ching. Got it. We're both happy now. We're all cool. But if you don't do that, dude, the minute you walk in there, she goes, are you having sex with a clerk at the grocery store? You know, and that's why I like this. I was gone like 5 minutes. What are you talking about? This doesn't make no sense. Guys, in 5 minutes, that thing's going about 200 miles an hour. And in 200 miles an hour, she can come up with 1,000 possibilities. Now, remember, the other thing about the right brain, it's all about possibilities. And if you don't tell her what it means, it'll find the absolute worst possibility. For some reason, I don't know if God or Mother Nature wired this way, but they always land on the worst possibility. And your ass was grass, and it's all your fault.
It's like a slot machine from hell.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all your fault because you didn't say what that means. Is you could literally say, "I'm going to the corner store to get vanilla ice cream," and you literally can say, "And what that means is I'm going to the grocery store to get vanilla ice cream." It's just a pattern that makes her brain clink 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 clink. She's good, but if you don't say what that means is, you are screwed. Does that sound familiar?
Sounds very familiar. I think one of the things we were talking about like 2 nights ago was, and this blew my mind. I asked him, like, so if a guy walks in with his shoulders hunched and he's kind of got this like, oh yeah, I had a good day.
Oh yeah, keep going.
She can't actually tell that you had a bad day. A guy, he knows because he can see it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If a guy walks in with his shoulders hunched and he's like, yeah, I had a good day. Every guy in the room knows that he had a bad day. But a girl can't tell. And this is just something I got maybe 2 nights ago. So that's, I guess, how literal this is. They literally need a description of what you're going through. So that kind of blew my mind. That was actually the biggest thing.
Let me break that down a little bit more because I actually explained it a little more in depth. And that's the thing about you've got to take the course because it's like you won't really learn it. I'm giving you, like, this is the longest video. Hopefully you're watching it still. But you won't learn it until you take the course because I have to really break this down until your brain goes, oh, that makes so much. When you say at the very least, your brain has so much clarity between the clashing and why men and women clash. And it's all based on complete misunderstanding, and we're just wired differently. Mm-hmm. But that starts the war. What do they call it? The battle of the sexes. Yeah. All is fair in love and war. Mm-hmm. If you want to end the war, take the course. I promise you. And if you want to like clear the clouds and bring the sunlight back into your relationship, take the course. I guarantee you it will change your life. Hands down, at the very least, it change your life, doesn't it?
For damn sure. Hell yeah.
Right. So let me explain what he was saying. So what I said is like, okay, so Ben, if a guy, I said if a guy walks in the door and says, I had a good day. I had a good day. I had a great day. She can't tell the difference between she can't tell this is I'm kind of feeling shitty. This one's okay. And this one's it's fucking awesome, right? Now, the way men express themselves is what's called push energy. So the louder, the more push behind it, the more he means it. Women do not process communication that way. So the louder you get, like I remember one time a girlfriend of mine was like, I was pissed off. And I'm like, I'm fucking pissed. And I kept screaming louder and louder. And she's like, well, why don't you just tell me what's going on? I got fucking pissed. And I slammed my fist down on the fucking table. You know, it's a caveman coming out. And she was just like, you know what? When you calm down and you're ready to talk to me and explain what's going on, just let me know, okay? Because she literally, and I remember she was so calm and I was just like, I thought she was being a smartass. And I'm like, God damn it. And she fucking, I slammed it. Like, get the fuck out of here. And the thing about it is like, when I did calm down and I brought up this whole, what I call double pictures. And she's like, I don't understand why you didn't just tell me how you were feeling. And I'm like, I fucking did. But she can't understand that. That's the thing that guy's like, what are you talking about? How can you not understand that? We have two different computer processors that process communication completely, totally differently. So now let's go to the final piece, okay? So we're talking about this picture. I go, all right. So I go, do you see this picture of Bennett? And he goes, yeah. I go, so if a girl is standing next to you looking at that picture, she can see the picture. She does have a visual cortex. I'm not saying they can't see the picture, and she can get emotions and feelings from it. But when you come home from a vacation, a trip, a day at work, and she wasn't physically there, seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, and tasting, experiencing that, when you come home from Hawaii, dude, it was awesome. The fishing trip was awesome. She's just like, well, share it with me. How was it? And it was great. It was awesome. And, you know, in the male brain, you understand, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. He can physically feel what I'm saying by the way I'm talking, louding in my body language. It's called male push energy body language, right? So, but a woman is like, the way a woman's right brain processes is like this. You take a piece of the puzzle and you describe it in detail, okay? So now you got that piece, and then you take another piece and you describe it in detail. Well, the way men will do it, they'll master something, say carburetor, for 2 years, and they'll study the hell out of it, and then they throw it off to the side. And then they master another thing, the muffler or whatever, and they throw that off to the side. That's male thinking. It's individual, one piece at a time. Female thinking, the right brain, the way it processes, is you study in detail and you communicate in depth, in detail, and that's what you get in my course, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have clarity right now.
Yep.
All right. So you understand that piece. Now you get the next piece, and in detail, you just study it, describe it, learn it, and you connect the two. And another one, in detail, connect it, and now you've got the big picture. And she goes, oh, I see what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's funny, like, with this picture, I think there was one turning point in the conversation where he said, I don't know how you said it. It was like, you need a ridiculous amount of detail for her to get the full picture.
Right.
It's like, for a guy, I would never, ever in a million years describe all what you said to me.
See, what we're talking about is descriptive languaging. That's the word I made it, languaging, because it works with the course. It's just adjectives and adverbs. Now, guys, don't freak out. A lot of my male calls, oh God, don't use those. Because remember when I was a kid, what's a conjunction? What's an adjective? You know, conjunction, junction. What's your function? Now, you didn't see those cartoons, did you? That freaked me out. So here's all it means. The way you describe it to a girl. Let's say we're going to describe this picture. First of all, you want to say there's 3 pieces. There's 1 because they're separate images. 2 and then 3. And you'll say, well, it's an Indian woman in an Indian chief's headdress, right? And there's 3 pieces. So obviously the eyes are at the top and the mouth is in the middle. And then you got the rest, the chest and whatever here on the 3rd piece, right? And it's about, I think it's 60 inches by 30 inches. And each of them are the same size or like rectangle. So she's like, oh, okay. And you can describe how wide it is. And then the next thing you got to do is you have to describe the color of her eyes. And they're about, I don't know, it's about 3 inches wide. She's got a crystal clear blue and this and that. And then you got to describe the deep, dark, rich red around the eyes. All right? There you go. And then you got to describe the stripes going down and describe the color, the width. And then you got to describe the lips. Because, well, are lips thin? Are they thick? Are they medium? And so it's plump, smooth, thick lips. And it's got like an ocean greenish blue with a red wide strip down the middle. And you describe the jaw. It's kind of a firm masculine jaw with a soft roundness to the chin. And then you go and describe the color of this one feather. You describe it's this wide. It goes like this. It's got this thing going in the middle. But you describe the thing. And I'm not going to go in detail because we'll be here forever, guys, talking. And you will literally describe, well, it's kind of like a yellowish, what would you call the middle there?
Orange.
A yellowish, maybe lightly pale orange. And it's on the outside, it's kind of like a broken reddish going down each side of the I call that the vein. I forget the name of that. And then you describe in detail how the feather is, the color of the blue. It's like a light
baby blue.
Baby blue. Yeah, I was just ocean baby blue is better. And then you say there's another feather here, and now you got to describe that feather and how long it is, how wide it is, how many stripes are going off at an angle, the dots at the end, this, that. That's how you describe something in depth. Now, here's the cool thing, guys. When you learn how to communicate like that, her brain, it turns the fuck on, and she is on you. And that's the thing that clicks with my clients, because like, oh, God, I don't want to do that. But when you do it, what happens? Well, would you say they all of a sudden they shut up and they listen? Now they're focused on you. And then wouldn't you say that's what most guys want?
I would say so. It's happened twice with me where I've actually used some of the patterns, not even all the way, just some of them.
The one thing I haven't said about Abhinav, he hasn't completed the languaging stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I've used them at least just some descriptive language a couple of times. And it's been, the first time it was, she literally shut up. It was a coworker of mine, both times.
And totally focused on you, huh?
She shut up, turned to me, and then just straight up like, okay, what do you have to say now?
She didn't say that, but she was like, huh?
Yeah.
And that's really, it's almost like they go into a trance.
Almost, yeah.
It's not a trance. They're listening to what you're saying.
She literally, like, we were doing something. We were both facing the same way, forward. I was on the left side. She was on the right side. And I was just fucking around because we were joking. And we were doing our thing. And I said, yo, yeah, by the way, blah, 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 blah. And she literally stops. She turns right and she looks at me and she's like, yeah. Yeah,
it's like everything she's doing in her life. Okay, I gotta get the laundry, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta get that prepared. That goes out the window, and now she's, oh, what?
That was literally what it was like. She literally, she like froze. She was like, oop, okay, what? And then the second time was just a couple of days ago. I think I mentioned this a little bit, maybe 10 minutes ago in the video. We're talking about this, like, basically what Mike does. I was talking to her about Mike. Yeah, he does this, all this communication stuff, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I know, it's a different language. And I started to use some of it. She was literally on the job. And she's just like, oh, just shut up, totally shut up.
Yeah, the female mating system, and this is why I was talking about relationship courses being boring. Guys, I admit it, they are boring. This course is not boring because all of a sudden it puts power in your hands. All of a sudden, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Her mating system it got triggered, and she's like, so she's locked on you. Like, I have to have. She becomes Terminator Robotron, and you're the target. She's got to have it.
The first time especially, that's exactly what it was like. It was kind of freaky, actually. Yeah, it happened. I was like, whoa, what's this?
Because you've never talked to a woman where she was actually listening to you. Because, guys, when you have conversations with your wives and girlfriends or coworkers, females, they're actually in the back of their head thinking, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So they're not really engaged with you. But when they engage with you, when you saw that, did you see the complete difference between how they've always talked to you in the past and now? Yeah.
It was, like I said, like the first time I was kind of taken back because I didn't know what was going on. Like I thought I pissed her off or something. But it was a complete shift in the energy.
Because she got so quiet, you thought, is she pissed?
Yeah, I thought, fuck, did I say something bad?
I did too. Actually, the first couple times, I'm like, did I say something wrong? No. Keep talking. Did she say something like that?
She didn't really say that. But she said to me, I didn't expect you of all people to talk like that. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But the first time, when I first did it, I thought she was mad at me for a second because she stopped and she just stared right at me. I was like,
She completely shut up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And guys, You're not used to that, are you?
No, dude. It was kind of freaky because you know what I said. It was mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling. That was all I said.
Oh, don't give
That
my
was
secrets away, dude.
whatever, dude.
It's all right, fuck it. You guys can use it.
All right. That's all I said, and I
But
said
they're probably going to use what?
yeah.
Go ahead.
So and I said that, and I said a couple more things, and that was it, dude.
And she
And
was
she was just like, "Badink," and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I think I pissed her off."
Nope.
And then the second time, it wasn't that extreme, but it was for sure like it was more of a gel situation where we just started like flowing, just talking about the internal like language and stuff like that. She's like, "Yeah, it's a different language."
Yeah. And the reason why I'm grinning is because, all right, I'm going to wrap up the boring thing. All the other courses, guys, they don't teach you this stuff. They don't put this power in your hands. I'm grinning because this stuff turns women on. And that's the thing. It's so abstract, and men are like, why? What does that have to do?
Mm-hmm.
When you learn, I'm not even going to repeat it again. You have to rewind. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not giving nothing away. Well, I've already given a lot away, actually, with the descriptive language, because that's what locks her on. Is when you say these two phrases, women, and they lock on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys are like, why? It's the same thing, guys, when you turn on a porno. When you open a Playboy magazine, it triggers her mating system. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. And it completely flips the tables, so to speak, turns the tables. And now you're in the seat of power going, oh, God, this is really cool. Now you're coming from a place of choice and abundance versus, oh, my God, I got to get a girl. One girl, and you worship her and you praise her and you buy her things and do things for her. And she treats you like dirt. And the reason why she's treating you like dirt is because as a male, you think, but these are things that would make her happy. No. That's what would make you as a male happy. You understand that now, don't you?
Yep.
So if you're with another guy, you're going to be doing really good. But if you want to be with a woman, you're going to have to understand the way her system receives love and what makes her happy. So the reason why are women, even though guys are buying them things, paying for dinner, buying her a car, maybe paying for the house payments, diamond rings, flowers, roses, long stem roses, expensive dinners, why are women punishing them? Why are women, you just don't get it, you jerk. And punishing them for, you forgot to take out the garbage and all this bullshit. And as a man, you're like, why is she so angry? It's just the garbage. I'll do it now. No worries. Because it's not a big deal, but she's flipping out like it is a big deal. So why are they doing that?
It's because they're not really understanding. There's no communication going on. Basically, how do I say this? I think I can best answer it with a story. I was talking to this girl maybe a week ago, and she told me that she used to live with this guy who was not expressive at all, but he was pretty well as a professional. He had some money. Mm-hmm. He wasn't like a rich billionaire, but he had some money, and he was gonna put her through college. He was paying. She was living with him. He was paying for the cars. He was paying for this, that, and everything. So he was basically going to put her through college, and she broke up with him. And when she broke the news to him, hey, we're going to split now.
It was a shock to him, I bet.
It was a shock.
I mean, wait, what? But I'm doing all these things for you. Isn't this making you happy? No!
So he basically flipped out on her. He's like, I'm doing all this. I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I would have paid for your college. I would have paid for this. I would have paid for that.
On top of everything.
Right. And she said, all you needed to do was tell me that you were going to pay for it. You didn't actually have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. You actually had to just talk to me. You just had to listen. And so basically what happened was they ended up splitting up because this dude just was not willing to talk to her about anything. Anything at all.
Women need to talk. And the thing is, they need you to talk. You see that now?
Mm-hmm. So that... 1 second.
Hold on, time out. It's telephone emergencies. That's it. Do you want me to turn this off?
That's okay.
So
the story is basically, she told me that he didn't even have to fucking pay for anything. If they could just sit down and talk.
Communicate.
She was going to stay with him. He was not a bad guy.
Women receive love through the hidden right brain language. Give me the manual again. Again, I discuss it in depth in my book, and I teach you how to do it. Now, do not think my book is the course. A lot of guys, this is amazing, you changed my life. The book will change your life. I get it. That's not the course. You'll get some power from the book. And a lot of guys think, this is mind-blowing, and it isn't a mind-blowing book. Take the course. Cracked Female Code for Men, okay? It will change your life. You will gain tools and understandings of... I I know this is going to sound so light, but it is so powerful. How to love a woman in a way that a woman needs to be loved. And a better way to say is in a way that women receive love. Because the way that men love women, this right here is, I'll explain in the course what I'm doing, external linear. She doesn't, not only can she not receive your love the way you express your love in the male way, she doesn't even understand that it's love. She's like, why is he? And I've actually explained this to married women. Like, look, he does love me because my husband doesn't love me. This one woman, Julie, drove her husband so freaking batty, so nuts, because this went on for years. Why don't you love? He's like, I love you, and he's doing the whole, I love you. The louder, as a male, thinking like, what do I need to do? He eventually moved out, got his own apartment because it was, he did it to save his marriage. Luckily, he did. And so I had to break down to her, this is the way that men express their love. And when she goes, oh, he does that all the time. That's the way men express them. Like, she goes, oh, okay. And boom, they move back in together. Everything's fine. Everything's great. So I kind of lost my place here. What were we talking about?
They need to hear it.
Yeah. There's a hidden right brain language, and this is why I call it crack the female code. Okay? Crack the female code. There literally is a hidden code. Now, it's not a simple combination code, 40 to the right, 13 to the left, go twice over to 5. It's not that. It's a little bit more in depth than that, guys. I actually did a course where these guys showed up, and is it still recording? Yeah, sorry. And they're like, well, just give us the code. This was after like an hour and a half. Well, just tell us. I'm like, it's purple, green, 3344 drive on 2. I go, write that down. Oh, guys, it's not that simple. It's a languaging pattern, a series of ways of communicating and talking and being. That's all I'm going to say for right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that's actually why women read all these erotic novels, erotic books. It's all about reading to them. This movie that came out that was pretty big, 50 Shades of Grey. That was a book before it was a movie. There was like 4 or 5 books of them. And
women loved the books, and a lot of women, friends I went to school with on high school, the movie was okay. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Actually, that was it.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, that's it.
So go ahead. Wrap it up.
So basically, it's when a guy talks about like overtly sexual stuff, to them it's like, whatever.
To a woman.
Mm-hmm. But when they read the same overtly sexual stuff, then they're like, this is it right here.
Right. But you can't be direct, though. You have to be what I call double pictures, indirect. When you learn this pattern of communicating, not only will you understand her, but it will also
turn her on
sexually. And that's the point of the course, guys. There's a way to turn women on that your wife, your girlfriend, that single girl, every woman. A lot of guys, does this work for women that are black? I'm like, yes, it works for women that are black. I had a guy call, does this work for women that are from Europe? I'm like, yeah, it works for women. So, no, they're different. This doesn't work on them. Only American women. So I've heard a lot of crazy questions, but I don't know. Right?
So I think that's it, guys. We're just gonna wrap it up. Basically, one of the reasons why guys come to see him is because they're doing all this stuff that they think they're supposed to do, and they're not getting the girl. And a huge part of that is
keeping the girl.
And a huge part of that is communication. If everything else is the opposite of what you're doing, then communication, it just makes sense that it would be opposite too.
Stop wasting your money. Stop buying her stuff. That is a temporary fix at best. It is what I call a sugar high. It makes you happy for a week or two, maybe a month if you're lucky. Like if you buy a brand new car, which happened to someone I actually know. He ended up leaving them for the banker. I'm not going to go into detail on that. But this dude spent all his money for years, and she'd been cheating on him for a while, and ended up leaving him for the banker. And I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, you really think that money is in buying her things. Women hate that. Things, it's all about emotional feelings, not things. Car, jewelry, diamonds, those are symbols, and if you learn how to communicate in a certain way to connect that symbol to an emotional feeling, then she will value that car, that diamond ring, that flower. She'll even save it for the rest of life because now it has an emotional meaning to a woman, and that is what this course is about. You learn how to do that, boom, you're in the driver's seat, you've got the power. Now you can make her feel truly happy, content, fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled, and that is what a woman's looking for. If you don't believe me, play back the last minute or two of what I just said, and a woman's going to be like, yeah, that guy knows exactly what he's talking about. So we're trying to wrap this up. Anything else?
Well, you see this a lot in movies, man. It's funny, guys see it all the time in movies, TV shows, like songs, fucking soap operas, whatever. But I guess they never, because it kind of just goes over our heads. If you watch any romantic movie, they're doing all this stuff, all this, emotionally fulfilling, this deeper language and all that stuff. But if you haven't been taught, or if you're not able to see it, then you're just not gonna see it.
Yeah, you don't hear it, you don't see it. It's the same thing like romance novels. Before you met me, didn't you think romance novels were boring?
Pretty much, yeah. It's funny. I had actually read like maybe one or two, and they did this same like this double picture thing where if they're talking about something explicit, they'll never say it like a guy says it. They'll kind of go around and sort of
beat around the bush.
Yep.
That's an actual pattern. Because a lot of guys are like, why do women always beat around the bush? That's a great question. And this course answers that question. And it's very romantic. And when I say romantic, that's the female A word, but she really means something B. It really means seductive. It really means sexual. It really means XXX rated pornographic. And that's what women are looking for, but it has to be done in the female language. If you learn how to do that, boom, that triggers her mating system. She's going to come after you. She's going to cook. She's going to clean. She's going to want to now she's going to want to make you happy because you made her happy. You gave her what she really wanted. And if you see, cars are nice. Diamonds are nice. Those have security value and stuff like that. But you give her mentally stimulating, emotionally fulfilling communication and life experiences again and again repeatedly, I'm telling you, she's going to suddenly turn around and lock onto you and be like, wow. Now she's going to be much more willing to do things for you, like massage you or maybe clean once in a while. Or maybe I don't know what it is she used to do in the beginning of the relationship. Have you noticed how the things she used to do in the beginning of the relationship, she doesn't do them anymore? It's because she's like, no, I'm not getting what I want, so screw them. You start giving her what she really wants, guys, boom, she's going to start doing that stuff again. That's all I'm saying. So were you going to say something to that?
Actually, I just wanted to go on with what I was saying before, is like you'll see it in movies basically where the guy, he's like a bum. Like in Titanic, the dude, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's a bum. And she's with this like uber rich, multi-billionaire guy, and she leaves him for Leonardo DiCaprio because he's got this emotionally fulfilling like way to communicate his emotions. I think he does it through like paintings or he talks about it or some shit. But basically, he's fulfilling her, so she's gonna go with the broke, penniless artist who's fucking hitching a ride on the Titanic instead of the multi-billionaire banker.
And how many times have you guys seen where a woman or a girl ends up leaving this rich, tall, good-looking dude for this dude over here who's poor, uneducated, just got out of prison, literally. There's another thing I was going to say. Poor, broken, what else? God, I can't think of what it is right now. But you get my point, and you're thinking, why is she with that dude? That guy's out of shape. He's not good looking. Like, what is it? The answer is in the course. Go ahead.
I actually remember this one guy from my high school. He was a skinny little Asian kid, long hair, almost looked like a girl actually, and he had the hottest girl in the school as this girl.
No, you don't have to look like a girl. You can be manly. You can be wearing like Farmer John Hunter freaking winter clothes. So go ahead.
Yeah, you look like whatever basically.
You look like me, dude.
So he had the hottest girl in the whole school. She was fucking gorgeous, man. I'm telling you. And I remember I was playing basketball with him one day, and I was just fucking around because I was curious. So I'm like, hey, man, how'd you get that girl? He's just like, just talking, man. I said, just talking? He said, just talking, dude. That's all I do. I just talk. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I don't know how to do that, so I'll see you later, dude. And I just walked away. So this was years ago in like high school when I was like a junior or something. And he was a freshman. This kid was just a freshman, so I think he was on to something.
You know, I remember during the course you were like, oh my God, I remember this guy said this to me. I'm like, yeah, I told you it's all about talking.
Yeah.
Learn the hidden patterns and all of a sudden, boom. But I'm going to give you a tip right now. If you do one thing, just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Women love it when a guy can talk. And there's a reason for it. I'm not going to go into it now. It has to do with her mating system, survival, taking care of the children, If a man is good at communication, and if you're not, that's why you need to take the course. But again, I'm not talking about business communication. I'm not talking about left brain, proper English, proper languaging. I'm talking about right brain communication, because there's something that it does that gives you more financial security. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, I thought you said it wasn't about money. It is and it's not. It's funny because you could be a multimillionaire, buy a brand new Mercedes every year, and live in a $10 million home. She'll end up leaving you for the broke dude because her mating system is in the lower reptilian brain. And this is the part that really screws with men. Like, but that doesn't, but I am rich. She has financial security. But she doesn't emotionally feel secure. She doesn't feel like you can provide for her. And I've actually heard women say, oh, I'm looking for a man that can provide for me. Like, that dude makes $1 million a year. How can he not? What are you talking about? And she ends up leaving for this dude where now she's taking her alimony money, paying the rent for him.
You guys always, what's the one thing about popular guys that girls always like? They're always socializing. They're always talking to all kinds of people. And that's who the girls always like. She could be the most unpopular girl in the school or the most popular girl. She's gonna go for that dude who's always out and about. He's always chit-chatting. You can talk to the janitor all the way up to the dean and everybody in between.
And it's all in here. Everything he's talking about, it's all in here. What are words? I don't want to give you the answer now. We even talk about the brain. We even talk about Tom Cruise, okay? And Dustin Hoffman in here. It's all in here if you want to learn it. Go to MikeKollin, MikeKollin.com. MikeKollin.com.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one, because we're going to have a good one.
I know it's a long video, but you know what? Instead of watching my videos, get your butt in here. Probably be the smart thing. Peace. See you. Bye. Adios.